Today we're going to be going through the final week 10 challenges of season 4 and showing you guys tips and secrets on every single challenge, including the secret treasure star, where to find secret chests for that challenge, and more. Oh yeah, and of course you can't forget the rings challenge, which I'll show you the best way to do it. But basically I'm going to be showing you guys the quickest way to get these challenges done so that you can get back into the game, playing it for fun, and not having to worry about any more season 4 challenges. So if you find the video helpful, be sure to smack that like button down below. Always helps me out so much and encourages me to make more of these guides every single week a day early. Along with that, be sure to comment what tier and level you guys are at below. I'm sure most of you are at tier 100, but are you guys close to level 80? Personally, I am still at level 74, especially with 4th of July and stuff. I haven't had a whole lot of time to grind, but I'm gonna have to get there. I'm so close that I have to do it. But yeah, guys, without further ado, let's jump on into it here with the leaked challenges for this week, because as always, we do them a day early. So in case you haven't heard of them, here they are. And credit to these goes to FortniteTracker.com, so big thanks to them. But first of all, you have search chests in junction. Got some secret chests to show you there. Deal damage to opponent's structure, which is a total of 5,000, and then search a chest, ammo box, and supply drop in a single match, followed by skydive through floating rings, which may be a challenge that might change. We'll have to talk about that. And then you've also got search between movie titles, which should have been the one for last week, but they switched it up, I think. And then finally, eliminate opponents, just in general, and then finally eliminate opponents in fatal fields. And as always, got some tips for you on those also. But yeah, guys, without further ado, let's jump on into it with the first challenge I want to go over. And that is one of the unique challenges for this season, the search a chest, ammo box, and a supply drop in a single match. Now, at first that may seem pretty tough, but actually you can get it done in about 5 minutes. If you do it this one certain way that I discovered, it's really a super simple challenge, as long as not, you know, like too many other people are doing it the same way. So the way that I recommend doing this one is first choosing the game mode 50v50. There's a chance it might not be live, and I mean, you can do similar things if there's like teams of 20 and stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure 50v50 should be live tomorrow, so that's the best way to do it. So as you can see here in this clip, what you want to do is ride the bus until you get to about halfway over the map. Now once you're there, simply jump out and then immediately pull out your glider so that you're hovering there for a little bit. The reason that you're doing this is because you're waiting for this little timer right here to expire and waiting for the circle to show up so that you know exactly where to dive and sort of head to. So as you can see, the circle spawns a little bit farther away from me, but since I'm so high up in the air, I can just glide over there super safe. Now I don't want to go straight into the circle right away. Instead, I want to go to an area that has a ton of loot in it so that I can get my chest and my ammo drops super quickly. And luckily for me, nobody was even at this location that I went to pretty much. So I just picked up a chest, searched around the building a little bit until I found an ammo box right there, and then after that just run towards the circle. Now in 50v50, the airdrops always spawn or seem to spawn at around the 8-minute mark of the first storm. So once that happens, you should be close to the circle. Look up, see if you can find an airdrop. Now if you want to, you can also shoot it down so it comes down a little bit faster, but once it comes down, simply open it and you have the challenge fully done. All you have to do then is either eliminate yourself or be eliminated or finish the game. Just remember not to click leave the match or else the challenge will not count. But overall, guys, pretty easy challenge to do. But moving on here to the second challenge I want to show you guys. This one is the search chests in junction. Now this one is going to be a little bit tough, to be honest. It's probably a little bit reminiscent of risky reels, but either way, I'll show you guys some of these secret chests that will get you guys some pretty, you know, safe ones to go after. But yeah, for sure, expect this one to take a bunch of games to get done. So as always, guys, I probably would recommend doing 50v50 to get this challenge done. Like how I'm probably going to do it is just keep searching for games until I'm like on that side, and preferably it's the farthest away. But yeah, which chest should you go after? Well, there's a bunch of chests in the center, which I'll show you in just a sec, but instead there are a couple of secret chests that you probably can get without anybody else going to them. So the first of which that I can recommend is the one inside the llama itself. As you can see, you simply go up there, go towards like the middle of the llama. There's usually a chest in there if it decides to spawn. Now there is another secret chest which I'll show you in just a sec, but once you get that one in the llama, you can also go down here and find this chest right inside of junction. On top of these cars, that's a safe one to get as well that I don't think a ton of people are going to be going after. And then also you can start exploring junction and trying to find some of the other chests. But after that, there is another secret chest that probably counts. I'm not 100% sure. You might have to test it out, but it is the one over at this car on this side of junction. I'm pretty sure this one's close enough to count, but you may have to test it out. If it doesn't work, I mean, you're not really out that much. You can just run into junction and get some more. Now, as for the chest inside of junction, I would recommend going to this one right here. It's right out in the open. You can see if it's there. Just glide and grab it right away, and then move to the left and grab the one next to it if that one spawns as as well. Those are two super close together, and then you can even follow it up with a third one by building up to the building itself, breaking into the second floor, and there's sometimes one that spawns right there. Now, along with that, there's two others in the building itself, one on the second floor right here, as you can see, and then you simply want to run up the stairs again to the rooftops, and there's another one inside of this weird little room, like on the roof. I don't know why it's there, but there's a chest in there, so you might as well grab it. Along with that, there's also one inside of the orange crusher, and also one over here. But on top of that, you can then get two other ones, with one right out in the open next to the sort of crane, and then you can find a secret one. If you go down under that and start breaking through the wall, you can find one hidden behind that. That should be another one that's super safe to grab. But yeah, guys, I'm pretty sure that is all of the chests for Junk Junction, so just remember not to click leave match. Just finish it up, either get eliminated, something like that, to make sure that those chests count, and then just keep doing it over and over again. Now let's move on here to a fairly easy challenge, but one that'll kind of be a little bit fun to do. This is the deal damage to structures, which I believe is 5,000 damage, which seems like a lot, but again, you can get this one done in like one game if you know exactly how to do it. So pretty much you can do this in any game mode that you want to. There's a key to doing it, but I definitely recommend doing it in 50v50, again, if it is live on Thursday. I mean, I think you guys know where I'm going with this, but 50v50, people building a ton of forts towards the end of the game, literally all you need to do, just wait until then and start firing from like super far away at their giant bases. After a while, you'll rack up those damage points and pretty much get the challenge done. Along with that, you could get in close and maybe use some RPGs, some grenades, just toss it in the middle of their buildings, and that'll rack up a ton of damage also. Overall though, there's a ton of easy ways to do it, and this one shouldn't take that long. Now as for the next one, this is actually another one that shouldn't take too long, and is one that might be subject to change. So as always, if these challenges do change, check the pinned comment down below. That's always where I update you guys on that and give you like mini guides in case they do change. However, I'm 90% sure this one will stay, because it is the rings challenge, and the rings got leaked early, and you can actually see them if you grab a replay on PC and go to the main island when you are on the loading island. As you can see me doing right here, I'm in a replay right at the beginning, and then I start flying over to the main island, and you can see all of the rings for the challenge. So again, you have to get 20 of these, but they're actually a little bit different than Season 3's. Season 3's only had like 2 layers, but this one actually has 3 different layers, so each time you drop, you can actually get 3 of them in one time. But as you can see here, the rings are in these weird little groups, where there's like a group of 3 pink ones at the very top, then one under that, and then a final one sort of closer to the ground under that. So again, you can get 3 of them. You can pull out your glider, stuff like that. Just slowly go through each one of them to make sure that you get them. But I would actually recommend saving this one towards the end, because every single time you go for the other challenges, you can go for 3 of these rings each time, and that'll add up and save you a bunch of time so that you don't have to come back to it. So yeah, overall shouldn't be that tough. But moving on here to the eliminations in a certain location challenge for this week. We have one every single week, but in case you guys have a tough time getting eliminations, I've got a couple of tips for you. Now, since this one is in Fatal Field, supposedly, it's pretty much the exact same thing as last week. Since that one was in Anarchy Acres, just, you know, repeat the exact same things you did for that one. So again, if you need a reminder on this one, basically how it is different from other elimination challenges is that Fatal Fields, or the farms in general, don't have a ton of loot. So since a ton of people are going to be dropping there, not everybody is going to get good loot. So it is very important to make sure that you get somewhere where you can get some loot, and then maybe target the people that are running around with their pickaxes out and stuff like that. So where do I recommend dropping then? Well, usually when I go to Fatal Fields, I actually go to the woods on the side, and it doesn't matter which forest, there's one on each side. Both of them are pretty much the same. I believe they have a chest in them and also a bunch of ground loot. You should be able to find something, and then you can also right away get some materials, maybe like 200, in case you do need to build a little bit. But once you've got all that, try and find some other people in the center. I'd maybe avoid the house unless you're a good player and you want to just take people on right away. But I mean, just go to town. Once you're stocked up on all that stuff, you should have a good advantage, especially with your extra materials that you were able to get from the forest. So yeah, may take you a couple of tries, but shouldn't be the toughest challenge on this list. Now moving on again here to one of the most important challenges, the treasure star, and the clue for this one is search between movie titles. Now real quick before we get into this one, guys, if you haven't yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, because I post these challenges guides every single week, a day before the challenges are even officially up. And if you don't want to miss them, that is the best way to see when those videos go live. But getting back into it, guys, since this one was sort of a replacement for last week, like last week was supposed to be the movie titles challenge, check the pinned comment down below in case it has changed. I'll update you guys in case it does get switched out with something else, or the location changes, something like that. But in case it is at the location I believe it is now, it should be between these movie titles that are on the screen that say a white lion, something about an orange crusher, and then finally like TV Dreams or something like that. those are the 3 movie titles that are next to Risky Reels, and those are actually locations on the map. But as you can see, you have the lion right outside of the soccer stadium. I mean, that's obviously the white lion, so that is our first clue. After that, you can also find the orange crusher inside of Junction, which we talked about actually has a chest under it sometimes. Now, where then is the final one with TV Dreams? Well, it's right over here inside of the TV studio, which is obviously referencing the TV Dreams. So those are our 3 clues. So all we have to do then is go upwards in theater mode and take a look at where they intersect. And again, we went over this last week, but it should probably be at this patch right here. It's possible it could be maybe a little bit around that, but it should be between these objects at the very least. So yeah, guys, again, be sure to check that pinned comment down below just in case anything changes with this. But then for the very final challenge, this one is super easy, and I don't even really need to say anything about it. It's the get 10 eliminations. Now again, I really don't have any tips for you guys, just play the game normally. Maybe you know. Actually, if you want to get this pretty easily, when going for the star, you could get a gun inside of like Junction or the TV studio and just mow down a ton of the people going for the star. Might be a little bit scummy, but I mean, that's a pretty easy way to get it done. But on top of that, I would probably also go for the Fatal Fields challenge first, because when you get those eliminations, it'll count towards this challenge as well. And it's kind of like knocking out 2 birds with 1 stone. But yeah, guys, that is going to be the final challenge for this week. I'm so excited for Season 5. Got more of these guides coming out for that battle pass, so if you don't want to miss them, be sure to hit that subscribe button on screen or down below. Along with that, you can check out some of my previous videos here, such as going through 5 more weird tips to help you get better, and then on the right, 5 changes that happened with the rocket launch a few days ago. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.